I'm Avi Saxena.
I'm Bhargav Yadavalli.
And I'm Sean Kim.
And Chicago Hacks is a nonprofit organization that aims to bring computer science to every student in the Midwest area. So what we do is we host an event every year called a Hackathon, which is a 24-hour coding competition. Kids can attend for free, and they can build something amazing for that 24-hour period and then present it to tech leaders that are judges.
So I mainly handle like the financial aspect of it, talking to sponsors, making sure we're financially stable and everything's, set for the event.
I try to lead the team in our initiatives, like what we're doing with how we're going to reach out to sponsors, how we're going to do the advertising. I try to organize like from the higher level perspective.
I'm also kind of like the ground zero. Towards the event, I'll like be more involved, and at the event, I'll kind of like make sure everything goes right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think last year the problem was we were establishing our credibility of the event, and we were very stressed out in the financial aspect because there's some things we need to get sorted out, like paying for the venue, making sure we have enough money for food before we can run the event, and if we don't meet that level, we have to cancel it midway. I remember just staying up to 1, making sure we're in a call with even international organizations, trying to secure funding money. So I think this year, since we've established some credibility, we should be more relaxed. I don't want to say easier, but that was the big thing for me.
Trying to secure funding from sponsors?
Yeah.
Can you guys talk more about that? How did you try and find the sponsors? What was your outreach strategy?
So first we kind of just compiled a list of all the companies in Chicago, and we kind of just had an email template we would send out to these companies, right? And so I probably emailed 100 companies in Chicago, and we got maybe 15 responses back, and out of those 15 responses, maybe 7 of them were seven of them were interested, and of those 7, a couple of them weren't even money. It's they weren't monetary sponsors, right? They were kind of give us codes or free stuff. It was really tough towards the end because we were figuring out what we had to cut at the event. We almost didn't have shirts. Fortunately, we came through, right? We had enough money by the event, so we can run it everything we wanted.
What was your pitch to these companies that you reached out to? How did you try and get them interested in what you were doing?
To get companies interested, we initially did that email template thing that Sean was talking about, but we thought that was kind of impersonal in a sense that companies wouldn't really respond to that because it seemed really generic. So what we kind of did is we reformatted that. We talked to some of the partners at Hack Club, which have helped us out, and they helped us reformat the email where it pitches the event as a way to energize engineering youth in Chicago and really gets kids interested in computer science. And once we reformatted our email template in that way, that's when we really got sponsors interested because they saw the impact of the event on others.
When you go to a hackathon and company sponsor, it's usually a college level hackathon. So those students are then, applying to internships at those companies. For us, since we're a high school hackathon, we can't have our students apply directly right now. Kind of telling the companies, okay, so if you sponsor us, you get your name out there, and then later on, they're going to come to your company first. They're going to spur some interest, and you're going to benefit from that later on.
Right, yeah. That early talent.
Exactly. Early talent, yeah.
And it costs $50,000 to hire an engineer nowadays. Why go through that whole process and start early?
About the t-shirts, you guys until the very last minute were working to get the funding to have these t-shirts. What I was thinking was you could have maybe used t-shirts as a strategy to help bring funding to the event. You could have tried and sold t-shirts to help you fund other expenses, but instead you worked really, really hard to make sure that everyone got a free t-shirt. Why was that important?
It's hard to get kids to come to these events eventually, especially when they're beginners. And this was a selling point in a sense that come to our event, you'll get free stuff, especially for beginner programmers. And a t-shirt is just a fun way to rep Chicago Hacks. It was also cool to see people with those t-shirts afterwards walking around in our school.
Wearing them.
Wearing them. I saw somebody at a university too, and they were wearing it.
The t-shirts allow you to be a part of it, It's immerse yourself in the experience. Whether you win or not, you're a part of something amazing.
For anyone else in the position where they might need sponsors for an event they're hosting, what advice would you have for someone who's trying to do this outreach?
Start with close contacts. If you have a family member who works at a company, definitely go to them first, right? Other things you could do is find a bunch of companies, make a list, right? And the bigger the list, the better, because that kind of increases your chances of getting that small return, right? Ask for a call. Don't ask for money immediately. Just ask to talk to them. It's so you can better send your message.
And another thing you really want to do is you want to build your credibility as you go. So as you get sponsors, you want to like put it on your website and let those companies know that other people are interested in your event.
That's a good tip. So as you get sponsors as you go, like make it public who are sponsoring you.
Exactly.
What I got from this was basically you want to make sure that you stress how important it is for them to contribute and what they get out of it in return. So for example, one of the things we did was we asked them to send people from their company and help out the event so they could immerse themselves in. They would find out what we're actually doing. You know, it's one thing just financially sponsoring us, but it's another to send your team and like actually, you know, help us out, you know, teach some kids to code.
Buy into that larger vision for what
Yeah, exactly.
Bhargav wrote about how you guys planned the event in 15-minute increments. He said that it made it easier to run the event that way when you really detailed everything that you were going to do across the event. What kind of advice do you have for planning the event in general?
Okay. At the event, so many things can go wrong at any time. So beforehand, you like write down what exactly you have to do at an exact time.
Yeah, you want like a very large spreadsheet so they can keep track of what everyone is doing at that time. Because in terms of like the event, it was a very large venue and you need to know where everyone is like at any point in time. If you need them for something, you need to know who's taking out the trash, who's running a workshop, all that sort of stuff. So planning things in like 15-minute increments makes it like more exact so that like at any time you know where people are.
Right, and so basically like for 15 minutes the biggest thing is it makes people move around, like your whole team. Everybody's moving around, making sure everything's good. Like for example, we didn't have any problems, but if we did 1 hour intervals, you know, we'd be maybe just relaxing in our room at some point, something goes wrong, we're not there at that time. 15 minutes, make sure everybody, every area, you know, square inch of the whole venue's covered, making sure everybody's, you know, accommodated.
How did you secure the venue for the event?
So basically, when we were getting the venue, we really relied on our networking because venues are very expensive and we did not have the money necessary. So we went to some people we knew through our business program through our school who led us on to some more contacts and we ended up finding this amazing company called TechNexus, which houses lots of different startups in their venue. So this was like the perfect technology place. We contacted them, told them about like what we were doing, and they really bought into our vision and gave us the venue at a very big discount.
I will add though, if you are a college hackathon, then there's a lot of organizations and schools willing to give you their like space for free. So when we talk to our like parent organization called Major League Hacking, they're really surprised that we know we're getting quotes for like over $1,000. They told us we shouldn't be spending over $100. So I think that's one of the hardships for high school hackathons. It's like a struggle to get a venue for free or like a low price, you know, because everybody's like kind of uneasy to give you, you know, a space to high schoolers.
In terms of what you actually did at the event, could you give a brief summary of what you did from the beginning to the end of the event and some stuff you did to try and keep people engaged the whole time?
To keep people engaged, we had like games and website workshops and things like that to keep people engaged who were like beginners and didn't want to work throughout the entire night, let's say. And another thing about keeping them engaged is also keeping them like from getting frustrated like mid-events like with their project, because like they're working on like new things, they don't know what they're doing all the time, and we wanted to make sure that they were always like continuing to like not run into roadblocks with their project. So we would always make sure that we're walking around, making sure everyone's doing okay. If there's any problems, we would help them with like their program or something.
Okay.
Yeah, because we were like well versed in programming, so we want to help them out.
Yeah, we had mentors at the event. So, so companies had the option to send mentors.
Because you were helping people learn.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the main point.
Yeah, if they quit halfway, there's like nothing for them to really do.
It's like a loss for both parties. Like
right, it's a loss for you guys. It's kind of demotivating for them.
It puts a bad taste in their mouth about computer science in general.
How do you guys use your social media to promote Chicago Hacks?
Oh god.
It seems like it's a hot topic.
Talk about how we're going to improve on that this year.
Yeah, say more.
So I think the problem with us is that like none of us really use social media. We're not too well versed in social media. We're like lurkers online.
Yeah, exactly. We don't post. We like we use social media a lot, but we don't post.
But this year we're bringing someone online. Her name is Zoe, and we met her at a Code to 11, which is like another event we ran. And so we brought her online. We brought her onto the team to basically kind of run our social media, as well as like kind of help with the ground zero, to like make sure like the event experience is really good.
Yeah, I think most of the problem is that we just forgot to post throughout the event because we were busy with other stuff, and we just need someone that's like dedicated to that.
What is MLH? And how does that tie into Chicago Hacks?
Yeah, so actually that would have been one of the external organizations that helped us. Mostly what they do is they help with infrastructure. So in our case, they gave us something called a hardware lab where kids could like check out cool hardware like Oculus Rifts and keyboards and monitors and things like that. Yeah. And they also connected us with a company called GitHub to give us like a 1K grant, because they're partnered with GitHub, so they give a 1K grant to first-time hackathons.
Yeah.
So that's a big sponsorship. Right.
Basically, when you partner with MLH, they post your hackathon on their website. And their website brings in like tens of thousands of people every day just to visit it and see like what hackathons are out there. I think it was like about 50% of our traffic came from MLH, which is insane. So it was very high. So it was more than just structure, it was also just exposure to.
One of the last questions, if someone watching this right now is really interested in what you guys are doing and wants to reach out, maybe to be a part of the next event, possibly try and contribute to what you're doing in any way possible, are you guys open to taking on extra talent to the team, or even if you don't add an extra team member, providing people with ways to help you make sure your next event goes more smoothly?
We're mostly looking for people to help like volunteer on the day of, and even more desirable would be somebody with programming experience, because they could help be like a mentor and a volunteer.
Yeah, and even if you like can't contribute like that much to it, if you just like tell your friends about like the event and stuff like that, like word of mouth, it would really like help us bring more people to the event and make it a lot better.
And in terms of reaching out to us, obviously the Twitter handle over there is a big thing that we want to push this year.
They already touched on the points, but I mean, we need a lot of manpower during the event. Like, I remember it took us probably a real long time to set up, because we had to bring everything from, you know, the bottom floor to the top floor, 20th floor, whatever. And we had a lot of stuff, you know, in our cars and stuff. So I mean, we need a lot of people there. Even with, we had 10 people maybe, and it took a real long time.
Specific ways for people to reach out to you, emails. Yeah. I know you guys talked about the link, but if you could say just some ways.
chicagohacks@gmail.com is the email for us. Personal emails are on our team page at the bottom. If you click on the team page, it'll take you to LinkedIn or something along those lines, and we have all our information on there. So it's really, there's so many avenues to get in touch with us, and people find ways. So
sign up for Chicago Hacks.
Yeah, sign up. No, actually, it's honestly the biggest thing. Like this year, we're trying to get as many signups as possible. So chicagohacks.org, go there and then sign up when it opens, and yeah, it's gonna be an awesome event. I think.
Tell your friends about it.
Tell your friends. Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Yeah.
Tell your friends. Right. ChicagoHacks.org. Sign up. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
All right.